Record.
Record.
Record. Enhance. Enhance.
Record. How you doing, man?
What's up? I'm doing fine. How about you? I'm
I'm
doing
good. I'm good.
nice.
Is it cold out there?
No, it's really nice actually.
Okay.
It's stayed really warm this year, like way late.
Huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, back from my time out there, I remember it being like, I feel like it was like surprisingly warm until like, I don't know, like almost like Thanksgiving or something.
No, I know. Oh, it's on track for that again. Definitely.
hmm Um, so what's new, man? Anything new?
Hmm.
Hello?
I had to stretch. Sorry.
Yeah.
That felt good. Do you remember I was sending you that guy who found that alien, that little the black alien that was moving all around?
Oh, any updates on that?
Yeah, no, he copped to it being a fake, and he showed his method and what he did. He's like an artist, and he had like
Uh-huh.
pictures with his kids and stuff like that, and he kind of
Uh-huh.
like you know, which he had said it was something like an art project or something early on, but it was just
Mhm.
convincing, awesomely done thing that people were like, oh my God, maybe it isn't, or maybe it's real or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was one of the best fakes ever done. I thought it was brilliant. So brilliantly done. Wow. So excellent. So that's a update on that. Uh yeah, what was the Charlie Kirk stuff you sent? Wait, was the stuff you sent me the where the guy is touching his shoulder at the
Oh,
exact moment the shot goes off?
oh yeah, and they were wondering if it was like a palm gun,
Well, no, that
and
he's triggering it, that he's triggering the explosion. That there's
oh,
it was the microphone or there's something on his body that explodes or sends a bullet in or something like that. Because
mhm,
because that didn't convince me as much as earlier on there's a shot behind him and
uh-huh,
he counts down from 5 to 4, then holds his watch up, meaning like in it, like when people look at their watch, they look like this. He is like that or something. It's like what?
like a signal,
And then
yeah,
before he goes to touch, there's a shot from like behind him, and he like I don't know if the camera he like kind of adjusts something there. It's like he
huh,
like does a little thing. It's like it doesn't look like he's just like fixing a collar or something. It seems like he's like adjusting something right there. And then
uh-huh,
5 minutes later, then there's a 5 minute, a 4 minute countdown, a timer. There's the guy who's directly across from him. It's like Charlie Kirk is right here, and then there's another guy with sunglasses on the other side, and they're obviously communicating or keeping eyes on each other.
mhm, mhm.
And then yeah, there is that the movement that corresponds exactly with the
The
shot.
palm gun.
Like oh, it also seems like, or in the video the way they're presenting it anyway, that at a certain point he looks behind him to make sure that that the guy is in position up at the top. And then how about the guy, that was the other thing you sent me, or I think we were talking about, is Zimmerman, what's the guy's name, the guy who claimed, who once he was shot he stands up and is like, yeah, I did it that.
Oh yeah, and that guy was at 9/11
Well, he's
and
LDS. Okay, so as I researched
LDS.
Mormon,
Okay, okay, yeah, okay, okay.
and I was learning that I think even now, but especially in the past, the that was like the main crop for intelligence agents is Mormons.
Huh.
It's like one of the that's like what they that's one of their main recruitment populations is from, for a lot of great reasons.
Huh. Huh.
And so it's like, oh, this guy is. Did you watch any of the interviews with him where he's talking about like meeting all these presidents and like having lunch with Reagan and blah blah,
Yeah, yeah,
those
I
insane shit? It's like,
know.
oh, that doesn't make any sense for a regular person, but
I
it's
know.
an intelligence asset. Of
I know.
course, duh. That's
I
what we're
know.
paying you to do. Is get in the
Yeah.
room, get information, meet people, go to these places, blah blah blah. Oh. and the Google searches. Did you see about the Google searches?
Oh, is that tell me again. I think I
So
just saw, I
basically,
didn't
like the
watch it, but
week before
uh-huh.
the Charlie Kirk event,
The Google searches skyrocketed or
yeah,
something.
for the guy's name, the type of gun, the center that Tyler was shooting from, not the location of the
Uh-huh.
event, but like
Uh-huh.
across the street or wherever the fuck. It's the I can't remember. It's the Luce Center or something. I don't fucking remember.
Luce, is that like
All
Henry Luce Center, like Luce?
no,
Or
I can't.
no?
I don't
Okay,
remember what
okay,
it is.
okay.
So but for that guy's particular name, the exact type of gun, which is a kind of a weird, rare, older gun, and the name of that.
Oh, the 30 ounce six or something, 30
No, but it's a
ounce.
specific. That's like the round. That's like the
Oh,
size of the
okay,
round. It's the
okay.
particular gun. That gun was like according to the official story, that was his grandfather's gun. It was kind of like an antique, nice,
Huh,
particular gun or
huh,
something, you know?
uh-huh.
That and it's like you can look, you can see it's like nothing, 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 big spike,
Boom.
nothing,
Wow.
nothing, mega big spike because the thing actually happens, you know, right?
Wow.
But just out
Uh-huh.
of nowhere, just bam, like holy
Wow.
shit. Anyway,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
some,
that's wild. That's
and
wild.
it's like the the Streisand effect.
Yeah, totally. Yep, yep.
It's like you just can't hide shit online anymore.
I
And
know it's
people
so
used to
hard.
be able to get away with it, or you could hide shit, and you can't get rid of shit anymore. And so people are slipping up. Like, did you see the young Republican leak, the chat leak yet? It just
No, no. What? Tell me.
today or yesterday.
What? Tell me that.
Like basically these like 2,900 pages of text messages between these young Republicans got leaked. And it's
Uh-huh.
some of the most vile, racist, anti-Semitic shit ever. Because these are some young, hardcore conservatives thinking
Uh-huh.
that they're talking in a locked room, right? Or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They
The
think
most vile shit you
like
could
what? Tell me like
imagine,
what
whether
was
it's
some
true or not, right? I mean, whether they're like joking or not. I mean, it's the most like fucked up shit. There's a lot of there's some big fallout, and at first they weren't releasing all the names, but I just saw, and I haven't gotten a chance to read it all, that some of the news outlets are releasing all the names now, and there's some big dogs in there, you know.
really?
Oh yeah,
Really?
there's a state senator. There's somebody in the Trump administration. There's yeah, you just can't hide shit anymore. Anybody that thinks they can hide some shit online, like
Yeah, it's just
sorry, you got another thing coming. It's like a whole brand of entertainment now. Like there's multiple YouTube channels. Like when somebody is totally insufferable or does some kind of hate crime, if there's a video of it, there's multiple YouTube channels where people will like track down who it is. They'll like find out who the fuck it is
yeah,
and
yeah.
like get justice, for whatever the fuck went down. So it's like a whole industry now, right? It's a whole industry to track people down, figure out who did what online, and shame them publicly, or
Yeah,
what.
no, the all
It's like
see
that's a whole new thing. I guess
yeah, the
it's
all
kind of cancel culture in a way. I guess it's
totally.
cancel culture,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's super entertaining. I'm not pro or con cancel culture. I'm just saying it's pretty goddamn entertaining.
I'm against cancel culture. I mean, I'm just against censorship, you know?
Oh yeah, censorship. To me, cancel culture means if I don't like something, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna be like, I
But
fuck
that's not
I don't
but
like that company or something like,
that's
okay, fine,
fine.
whatever.
Like that's fine, but
Yeah.
that's not what cancel culture is. When basically I would describe it as when someone in power doesn't like some sentiments or communications or entertainment or news or whatever, and they don't like it, it's not that they're just not going to watch it. They're going to have it removed and censored,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's why, like Alex Jones was one of the first people they started trying to do that to. And I remember like someone like, a lot of people on the left were like, oh yeah, take him down, fuck Alex Jones. But then, and I was like, I was like, no, this is wrong. Like this is how it starts. And I remember like Jimmy Dore taking like a principled stand, being like, no, even though I don't like Alex Jones, or at the time he said that I don't like Alex Jones, but we shouldn't be canceling him. We shouldn't be censoring him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way you combat bad speech is you have better speech and you out debate them and you prove that you debunk them and prove that they're wrong. You don't like what they're saying, so then you remove them or their ability to say it, you know. And it was weird because I do see this ongoing good cop, bad cop thing, say, for example, between Republicans and Democrats, where when this was happening to the Republicans, say when Trump was president, and right, so Trump is president and they're doing it to the conservatives. So on one hand, it's showing that the president doesn't have the type of power we think that they do,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that even though they wouldn't shut up about he's a dictator, no, he clearly wasn't a dictator because he wouldn't be allowing that, like not to his side
Mm-hmm.
or the people that are, you know, claiming to be on his side. So, and then, and so the people or conservatives hated that and they called it woke and they called it cancel culture and all this shit. And then when it's like, when it reversed, now like, especially what, you know, what I call, I think we talked about before, like right-wing woke, you know, is, you know, largely about Israel and maybe you could say Christianity, you know, and it's like those who speak ill of Israel are just anti-Semitic, and so they can be canceled. You know, like shutting down the protests at like Columbia University.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, you know, like when we were talking about like the Brett Weinstein stuff, like it's like this guy's so smart and he's on the trail and he knows something's going on, but then it like, and he's anti-woke, even though he was a liberal. But he was establishing street cred uh, and a certain degree of just credibility because he's like, even though I'm against racism, we shouldn't be canceling and censor people for saying things that are considered insensitive or racist, you know? And that's when they, you know, want to use the term hate speech. And that's why I look at the terms like hate speech or terrorist or anti-vaxxer or anti-science or misinformation or disinformation. These things end up becoming these Orwellian terms where it's like, now that we've tagged you and identified you as one of these bad people guilty of wrongthink, now we can remove you from the discussion. And now you'll be removed. And I've noticed a lot of people that got COVID right, you know, like Brett Weinstein, like I don't know if you know who like Naomi Wolf is. Whatever, not important. She's almost like a Brett Weinstein. And again, it's like, you know, sorry to beat a dead horse, but like all these people that are part of what's some term like the intellectual dark web, you know, these like professors, you know, these intellectuals who were pushing back on a lot of the cancel culture and the woke nonsense. They were like, almost all of them were Zionists, you know? And to me, you know, again, like I like to say, don't just follow the money, follow the rhymes, you know? And the rhymes here is like, why do they all have this one same Achilles heel? Like for example, Naomi Wolf, like, and Brett Weinstein, they were so on top of COVID and could call a spade. Like they were allowed to do that, and they were getting canceled themselves to some degree. But I feel like getting canceled was almost like the way hip hop stars were trying to get shot because it would give them street cred. You know, it's like if they got canceled and pushed back on the woke nonsense and the COVID nonsense, they would get canceled. That would give them like getting a gunshot wound. Now, like, no, they're from the street. now that
Right,
gives
right. They
lens.
kind of get accepted into. You might get shut out of one group, but then you get accepted into another one.
Yeah, and so there's a long game, a long chess game going on where it's like, and I look at Trump as kind of someone like that, and I'm open to the possibility, especially if you check out that clip I sent you, the one where he's in Israel recently. I think it was recently where he's giving the speech and he singles out Merriam Adelson.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa, because it's like, again, it's like, what's going on here? Like, it almost like, because my thought on these things, whether it's Trump, Obama, Netanyahu, whatever, Biden, like these people in my mind are all kind of, I look at it like they're held hostage, you know, like basically if they don't do X, Y, and Z when they're told to, one way or another, it's like that's when there's going to be a problem for them.
Well, they want in the game.
What?
They want to be put in the game. Obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, put me in, coach. And coach is like, okay, I want you to run this. When you go in, you're going to point guard. You're going to run these 2 plays. Okay. And they're like, yeah, put me in, coach. Like, they want to be there. I mean, it's not like they don't want to be there. That's the only president we want is the guy who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. I know.
All these guys want to be there. So yeah, at this level, there's some, they're willing to play ball because that's the game. We're playing basketball here.
Yeah.
Do you want to play basketball? Like,
yeah. And I was listening to that. I finished that John McAfee's wife's interview. I don't know if you finished that.
I haven't finished it yet. I liked her. I liked her.
I like her too. Yeah. I like her too. And something, I didn't realize that McAfee ran for president in like 2016.
Okay.
I didn't even know that. I mean, he didn't, really have a chance, but I guess he was like looking to try to, I don't know. Like, I don't think he was just trying to play the game because he seemed like he's like almost like that Christopher Dorner guy. Remember?
Sure.
It was like a movie. It's like a movie script, right? Where it's like you have this guy who rubs the wrong people. And then next thing you know, he's on the run. Or like that guy, Kim.com. That big fat dude who very possibly was the guy that leaked, like Trump even said it when he was running in 2016, when it's like, who leaked this stuff to WikiLeaks about Hillary? And everyone's like, this was Russia. This was, that began the whole Russiagate hoax.
Yeah.
Which in my mind, I don't necessarily view that the way, like, say, a right-winger conservative does. They're like, that's proof that Trump is against the deep state. And I'm like, not necessarily, guys. He
wants to play basketball too. Look, I don't care what anybody tells me. He wants to be on the starting team.
Yeah.
He wants to play basketball. They all do.
Yep. Like
they're tell me he doesn't want to play fucking basketball. Give me a break.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Bro loves to play the basketball. Ball is life. Like, bro.
Well, all right, but let's say you or I somehow were like, I remember talking to you one time about like very early on in COVID, and I was like, sometimes I get in some flow state, and I just like, it's like a beautiful mind or whatever. Like, I just start calculating infinity in a way, and I just go, and it was like, and I like see the Death Star shot, and I remember saying to you once, like, oh, like maybe I'll run for president and I'll out Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, to go, and it's not like whatever, like I would never have a shot, but it's like, you never know. Like there are a few people that have like run for Congress, they've lost, but there's like, this guy in New York, I think in the Bronx, who goes to all of these, like, he's really made a name for himself. He's like one of the good guys. He's part of the LaRouche network or somehow, which was always such a negative, but now is like, at least in some ways, has been proven kind of correct in a lot of ways, some weird ways. And anyway, he goes to these public events where like AOC or whatever, like Ted Cruz or whoever, whether it's Democrat or Republican, be there, and they'll claim to be against the bad guys and against war. And then he'll be like, why aren't you stopping the genocide? And he'll get up, and then like security will come and pull him out, but he'll just keep on screaming like he's fearless, you know? Like one of those guys. And that's like the thing. They want to keep that riffraff out. And that's what someone like I thought Bernie was.
Yeah.
You know, Bernie's not. Bernie's just like, put me in, coach. And they're like, all right. Like, dude, we got a lot of problems. We got a lot of things. We got to keep people in line. We need, you know, the guy from, you know, the Trump, and then we got the Bernie, and like, come on, guys, like sheepdog, all of these people on the fringes who are not drinking the Kool-Aid, get them back into drinking the Kool-Aid, you know, but being like the diamond that cuts through illusion, you know, that like, no, I'm just going to speak truth to power, like truly, and go out and say it. Yeah. But there's so many ways to get you, you know, and someone like myself, that's why to me, it's like, until I get to this like enlightened place, hopefully one day, it's like I don't know, like I'm like a loose cannon, or I speak freely, and you know, don't necessarily make it concise all the time. You know, there's all these ways that you know, someone like unless you're going to read from the script or be like a Trump who's entertaining enough. Have a shtick.
Have a shtick. Have a character that you're playing, so that you can, as a strategy, as an important strategy, if you're going to war, is you come up with a fucking plan before you go in there. You know, it's like, because it's gonna be confusing, and shit's gonna go wrong, and things are gonna change. So having some level of battle plan as like just good strategy. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and that's, you know, part of the dilemma for me is like, you know, because I don't want power at all. Like, I just like, I like that saying, only he who has no use for the empire is fit to run the empire.
Of course. Oh, absolutely.
You know, and that's like, I'd argue that's one of the things that they're scared shitless of. And that's what they're trying to lock that shit down and make it even more so. And whether it's, you know, and someone like Trump, like with that Merriam Adelson speech, I mean, I at least wonder if that was him like doing something so that now that's on record, you know?
And I feel like he's done that a number of times, like with
that's
Elon.
exactly.
Like he did the same thing with Elon, just saying some shit that like you don't really need to say unless you're covering your tracks.
To
kind of like pin something on someone else. Like it was kind of them who did it. It was like just for maybe in the future, like remember when I said it wasn't me and it was that, like remember that? Yeah, absolutely right. And it's so stupid, but it's, of course, it's so on brand for Trump, of course. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Like, oh shit. You know, you can't, it's like, but they told you what to do and you did it.
I know. And that's the thing for me, like, that I'm like,
with $10 million, you know, they gave me 10 million. What was I supposed to do? Not do the
I know, right?
Bro, it's pay to play up in this bitch. Like, okay.
Yeah. And, but, you know, and even though he does, like, there's no one he's more subservient to than Israel.
He's like pulling out that motherfucker's chair.
Yeah.
I love you.
Right?
I love you. Bro,
right?
Come here. I love you. Like, this is Trump? Like, Trump
I know.
Can be affectionate? Like, this makes me feel weird.
I know. Well, I mean, there are, like, let's put it this way. I'm not someone that suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. I don't like him. I don't like any of them really, you know, but I'm not someone like, I do view him as a human being. And I've heard enough stories from people that have known him where
upon consideration, I've come to peace with that. He may be human.
Yeah, exactly. Like he may be fucking human being, you know? Whereas, you know, like it's so hard to even express that sentiment to like I'm where I live, like you can't say that. If you try to say he's a human being, like people will be angry at you. They'll go crazy on you, you know, and you know, like, and trust me, I've been through it now, like since COVID, especially. I mean, it was difficult enough when Trump won at times to try to like push back on people. Like, and Steph would have to like tell people later, like, no, he's just so far left wing that it seems like it's right wing, you know, or say something like that, you know, because everyone else is like, what do you like? Either you're with us or you're against us. Like every single thing Trump has ever said and done is evil and like Adolf Hitler. And if you can't agree to that, then you're a crypto Nazi.
And that's what both sides, that is the essential kind of doctrine for both
sides.
The extreme on both sides. Both sides. The other side worships the devil, eats children. They want it, and they want to actively kill you. They're probably trying to right now. You just don't realize it. They just haven't gotten to your front lawn yet. It is. It's like it is that the true believer phenomenon. There's everything's great except for one thing, those people.
Yeah. The one thing that brings everyone together is an enemy to unify against.
The other.
You know, you're like W said, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yes.
You know, and it's like Jesus, when did it become so fucking ham-fisted? Like boo, boo, boo. But it's like, you know, I see Amy Goodman be like, boo, boo. It's like, you're a fucking meathead, Amy Goodman. Yeah. I didn't realize. How did I not know you're a meathead? Like, how did I fall for so long? Oh, that's right. Because when I started paying attention, the Republicans were in power. So there was the bad cop and the good cop.
Right.
You know?
Right. And then it kind of switcherooskies every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I think there are things about liberalism and conservatism that are valid. They're like valid philosophical lenses with which to see things through. Sure. You know, but like
until one of them is trying to tell us to kill the other one. And then there's an issue. Then suddenly like, whoa. Yeah. I thought we're talking about like tax policy.
Yeah. I know. It's
like, I want less taxes. That makes sense. I actually want more taxes so that we can pay for like schooling and stuff like that. Like, okay, that also fucking makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Well, fuck. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then, and you know, it's, I just see this, you know, the revolving, the switcheroo of good cop, bad cop going back and forth, you know, and if you're partisan and biased and identify with one group, then you always think you're on the good side, you know. But if you're not part of either group, you're like, yo, both of y'all are playing this game, and don't you see how? And it's pretty fucking obvious. But if you're in one of the sides, and someone like my dad's kind of interesting. So my dad is like a real right winger, but he's like, since Trump, he's like all in on the Democrats in a weird way. And in a weird way, the Democrats, like I've been telling you, have become even more right wing than the Republicans in certain ways, you know? And you know, like my dad would be, you know, I think I told you I had an argument with him, like whatever, a few weeks or a month ago. And you know, and he was like, Trump is trying to censor the press. That's fascism. And it's like, okay, yes, that is, but that's also what the Democrats do too. And he was like, what? What do you mean? Like, what do you think they're censored because they wouldn't let them take over the government on January 6th? You know, and it's like, what? It's like,
what is even happening right now?
Yeah, and it's like, what? It's like, no, it's that. Think about all like the censorship over COVID and this and that, and or if I were to be like, how about Israel? Like they're totally suppressing and censoring anyone.
Right, great. Even better, even easier and better point right there. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
you know, like, and it's like, but he's partisan to those groups, so he doesn't think it's fascism. And he thinks, no, that's just good governance and due diligence. You know, it's like, you see, you know, it's like you guys don't get it. And I see all these right wingers that like Trump that are like, oh yes, look at what he's doing and raiding all these places and dragging out all these people in cuffs, and it's like, wait a second, like Catherine Austin Fitz even the other day was like, wait, I wanted him to get rid of the violent criminals that the Democrats were just like setting free onto the streets, no matter how many violent crimes. I want him to crack down on that. I didn't want him to go and just start arresting and brutalizing just protesters,
Or like,
who,
or like kids, bro. Like
yeah,
kids, teenagers on their
yeah,
way to school, just
yeah,
pulling parents out of cars and shit like that. Like, what
yeah,
the fuck? Oh, it's
totally.
so fucking terrible.
Right. But it sets a precedent for that is normalized. And that side is like, yes, that's
Yeah,
good.
right.
You
Because
know,
they have to, right?
because they,
Because you
right.
can't go against your party.
You can't go against
It's
your party.
all or nothing. It can't be like, look, I like this one thing and I don't like this thing, because then you're gonna get punched in the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the type of thing. Like, I never saw Bernie do that. Like, that's the thing where it's like, honestly, I never, like, if you asked me in 2016, if fast forward 8 years, if a gun was held to my head, who would I vote for, Trump or Bernie? I'd be like, shit, I don't want to vote for either of them. But no, you're going to kill you unless you vote for one. I'd be like, oh, I don't know, I guess Trump. Like, like, I never would have ever guessed that. But it's like, because at least with Trump, you have this inkling of a hope that maybe in some way, like with this Merriam Adelson thing, like that's something Bernie never would have done. Like, Bernie's just like Mr. Cuck. Bernie's Mr. like, yeah, go ahead and fuck my wife right in front of me. Oh, I think it's good because whatever, that's progressive or whatever. It's as opposed to, it's like, no, like at least Trump on occasion will be like, like the shit he did with Merriam Adelson and be like, yeah, I even asked her, he's like, I asked, there she is, I asked her, like, who would you root for more, America or Israel? And she's like, I couldn't really answer that. And so, we know where she really stands, and it's like, holy shit. Like, Bernie would never fucking do that. Like Bernie knows this is a genocide and ethnic cleansing, but he will never say it. I mean, and Lord knows how they've blackmailed him, because it seems like, I don't know, because I give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, right, I'm just saying, like, I don't think Bernie is a total scumbag in that way. I think, like, he's blackmailed and he has no choice. And every so often they're like, dude, here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to say. And I feel like Trump is used in the same way, but every so often Trump just like, he'll do some shit where it's like, whoa, like he really just said that shit, like the whole thing about when he said about Putin, he's like, yeah, he's a killer, but we're not angels either. We kill a lot of people too. Whereas like John McCain, was like, no, Putin is a thug, and it's like, yeah, but like all the people that are like, Trump is trying to take over the government and create a dictatorship. It's like, you guys don't get it. There's already a dictatorship in place that's been in place, at least ever since JFK was killed, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't play out in the ways like the Nazi Germany thing or the Soviet Union in the way, but it's done differently here, but we have no say in what goes on. Like when the 2008 happened, no one stopped. And no, like the vast majority of Americans were against the bailouts. It didn't matter. Like the bailouts were going to happen, like.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the promise. That's the promise.
Yeah.
To the government, to big business is like, look, if you get in trouble, we'll bail you out because we're one and the same now, or the Venn diagram really goes a lot across
exactly.
of each other. If you go, we go,
Yeah. The yellow and the blue, it's just green. It's just all mostly overlapped. The Venn diagram.
Yeah.
I know. And honestly, that's why it's like, And like we were part of this small window of time where we just were born and raised before the internet. We had formative years before the internet, and then the internet came out and it was like the Wild West, and we got access to all this information, and now they're like closing that shit down, and I don't know, it's just gonna be interesting because I think in decades from now, we'll look back and be like, dude, we were there at that right place in that right time, where we like, yeah, that Hunter S. Thompson line from Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, like talking about like the 60s. If you looked clearly, with the right eyes, you could see that crest of the wave reach that high water mark. Like in a sense, like we had access to information.
You cut out. If you can hear me, you cut out. I don't know what's happening. Maybe leave and come back, perhaps. Bam. I don't remember where we were.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think I was talking about the AI and us becoming obsolete who don't use it all the time. Um, and how, it's going to funnel everyone into this, whatever, thinking more or less the same stuff, which is whatever, where we've been for a while. There was just this brief period of time that you and I have experienced where it was the Wild West.
Well, and they're gonna, you know, my understanding of it so far is right now what we have access to is corporatized AI that's controlled by corporate. That when you want to search something on ChatGPT, you're making a request to the OpenAI servers, and then they're running the search or the whatever, and then they're sending you back the stuff. That was why with the China DeepSeek was such a big deal, because they're like, here, just download it. You won't have to connect to us. You can just run it on your own machine.
Oh.
So right now, basically what we have access to is the corporatized AI. I think the uncensored personalized AI will be an amazing thing. And it seems like that's what Apple is positioning itself to do. It seems like Apple is not jumping on the like we're going to create the AI platform yet. It seems like what they're doing is trying to. This is from what Jeff was telling me. I didn't like it.
Okay.
That what they're focusing on, and actually they just announced today their new chip, which is like 4 times stronger than their last chip, which is like amazing. But the idea is that you need really strong processing power to be able to run your own personal AI on your own system. And it looks like that's where Apple is positioning themselves. They're going to have the best, strongest chips so that you can run your own AI model on your own computer and not have to access and use somebody else's computing center and their thing. Now, what I think will actually happen with that is for some people, that will be an amazing access to information. But what I really think is that you're probably going to end up with 70 or 75% of the population trapped in like a pornography virtual reality that surpasses every fantasy you've ever had. Because you add that with a haptic system where you feel
with a what system?
Haptic
What?
suits. So
is that like sensory sensors? Okay.
Yeah. Just and really, you don't need much. What's crazy? Do you know the rubber hand experiment?
I don't think so.
We should. It won the neuroscientists like the Nobel Prize. Hold on, I'll just pull it up and find.
I feel like you might have mentioned this to me once, like a while back.
Experiment. Okay, good. All right. notice within, what is that, 20 or 30 seconds,
Wow.
we can map our senses onto something.
Uh-huh.
Once the stimulus is paired with the response over here, we can map our consciousness, because that's what we did with our body, right? We're like babies.
Right.
At the beginning, we're like looking at our hands. We're like, what the fuck is that? At some point, we're like, oh my God, these are my hands and I control this shit.
Yeah.
And that's through the sensation that we're getting, right? Over time, we go, it's just, okay. So, man, once you've got a virtual reality experience where when the thing happens, you even just get a slight sensory experience, then your brain will just make it more and more and more and more real. And I think you're going to trap so many people in a virtual reality fantasy world, because they're going to get the experiences they want. If you can have all of your craziest sexual fantasies come true, and where you're actually orgasming and everything. Are you out of your, like, people won't believe that. That's going to be the number one for so many people. For so many people, they're going to get trapped in that. And that I am not exactly coming up with that on my own. It came from there was somebody who claimed that they were, I don't remember whether it was abducted or taken willingly by the gray aliens. Okay. And the gray aliens say, they're like, this is what happened to this is what our planet, where we're from, this is what it's like. 90% of the population is just in their little virtual world all the time. A very tiny subset of our population is actually like conscious and walking around and doing like science and exploring the universe and like running the government and stuff like that. Most of them are just trapped in this by their own free will. Great. It's you have your friendships there, you have all of your sexuality, all of your everything, all the coolest shit is there. They're willingly choosing to do that, and that captures most of their population. And like the smartest ones are like running things and exploring the universe and blah 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 blah. But that most of those beings choose that, and I was thinking, I was like, ah! Like, I can see that happening if you have that opportunity. Like, I'll have sex with a AI robot. Like, I'll try that. Are you, as long as Rachel says it's fine? I'll try that.
Speaking of which, have you seen some of the newest models?
Oh yeah, I'm following. Look, I think next, because open AI, blah blah blah, AI stuff. Like, okay, great. Really, because of what I just said, I think for human beings, the human beings on this planet Earth right now, do I want AI to help me like solve the dividing line, to have the one theory between quantum mechanics and Newtonian physics so I can combine them and understand the secrets of the universe? Or do I want to have sex robots? We want sex robots. That's what we fucking want. Okay. We don't want that other shit. No. You give me an AI girlfriend that does what I want or whatever, right? And I get to have sex however I want or whatever. Yeah, I want that. So I think whatever company, whatever's the Apple of sex robots, company is the Apple of sex robots, will be the most fastest growing, highest profiting company of all time. It'll make this AI bullshit. This is just the AI is going to be like part of that. Like, you need that for that to have like a legitimate companionship and like friendship and stuff like that. You need it for that. That you need that system. Put that in a humanoid type robot situation, and you're gonna make a lot of fucking money. Holy shit! Tesla eat your heart out. Apple eat your heart out. It'll make those companies look like fucking jokes. So that always just stuck in my head. That guy describing that. And I remember just thinking, oh yeah, I agree. I can see how that would totally happen for so many what's it called? Like the incel phenomenon and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
totally. Yep,
Like
yep.
it's over. Like they've already given up, and for
And
good reason. I'm not being judgmental. I
yeah, 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 yeah,
understand
yeah,
getting to that level of depression
yeah,
or
yeah,
having lived
yeah,
in your house for 20 or 30 years. I can understand that. I can understand.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
why would you go get a regular girlfriend? That's not gonna
yeah,
fucking happen anyway.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Um, yeah, it's I don't know what's going to stop it from happening.
No, no
I
way. No,
yeah,
no, we know. It's like it's obvious. It's the most obvious thing ever, right? It's like it's so obvious. That's where we're going. And just Open AI either yesterday or today said that they're going to start allowing the they're letting go of the restriction on making smut and pornography and not safe for work content with AI with OpenAI. But what's the catch? What do you think the catch is? Do you know what it is?
they're saying we're going to allow. We haven't been allowing that, but now we're going to allow that. But there's a catch.
Yes.
Can't be racist. I don't know what.
No. You have to prove your identity.
Which is the whole thing with Elon Musk and Twitter. So
You have to prove you gotta log in with your shit. You're probably maybe you need to send us a scan of your driver's license or something like that. We have to know that it's you and that you're the one using it, right? We want to know who's using it and for what. That data
kind of like a driver's
so
license
important.
and a license plate and insurance on your car. Yeah, you can drive a car, but you got to learn the rules of the road. You got to pass a driving test.
Yep.
You get your learner's permit, your driver's license,
Exactly.
car insurance, license plates. Because there was once a time where it was like shit could happen, right? And people people didn't have license plates, or or guns didn't have. It's like they want to just be able to track and surveil everything,
Yes.
and that comes back to like the CBDC kind of thing. Which,
No, and we kind of like we kind of I think most people will be like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, because it does. There's a logic to that. But then it's like, oh shit, why do they want? Who's going to use that data? Why do they want that?
Yeah,
it's like taking a step forward. It's like, oh shit, I probably don't want to give all of my pornographic thoughts and ideas to someone else. Because now now it's like you've like digitized the Epstein honeypot, right? Now it's like, oh, by the way, I know all of the shit you made in AI. I have all the logs here of all of the porn stuff that you made with AI, which is fine.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I have that.
Yeah.
So that you play the game, play ball the way that we play it on this team. Okay. Because I'm making AI porn too. I'm just, we're on the same team, but I just want you to know that I know that we have it. Look, it's right here. Just take a look. See, it's here. Remember when you made that? Remember that? Okay, right. Cool. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Me too. Check out the shit I made here. Look, we're on the same team. There's still this.
You're either with us or you're with the terrorists.
We could break free of that if we get rid of guilt and shame, because we like watching naked humans fuck. Like, what a
I know.
God, what a crime. Oh my God, what's wrong with us? I should be ashamed and have guilt around this, right? That's the Garden of Eden thing, right? It's our knowledge of good and evil caused us to be ashamed of our naked body.
Yeah.
We covered up, and that's one of the first ways God knew something was wrong. He's like, why are you covering yourself, please, and shit? Like, why are you ashamed of your body? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, oh, you ate from the goddamn tree. And look, if you read more into it, I watched this guy called the Deconstruction Zone, who was he was a former hardcore Christian and went to real deal divinity school and like learned Hebrew, Greek, blah blah blah. And so now he's like just debates people on the that like God isn't real and stuff like that, and people calling it. He's just so unbelievably knowledgeable. But when he looks more at the Garden of Eden story, actually God wasn't surprised. Actually, that there's the argument of like, why would God say that if he didn't know that we were going to do that? But then really after we do eat, then God has this this part where he says, shit, like Yeah, they ate from the tree. Now they know what we know as gods now. So it's like it's the God isn't like surprised or anything. And the punishment is now it's not that we're thrown out of the Garden of Eden. There's two punishments for women. They will have birth during pain during childbirth, and for men, we have to work. We're gonna have to work to make a living. Those were the punishments that we were given.
Huh.
And then yeah, we're not allowed to eat from the second tree. We're tossed out so we don't, or an angel is put to guard for the second tree, which is the tree of everlasting life, which is to me what I think then that the myth or the idea of Jesus, that's what Jesus is bringing, that second fruit, the tree of everlasting life. Through me, you will gain everlasting life. That death is just the physical body. The soul can the
Goes
soul
on.
is infinite and lives on.
Yeah.
And through knowledge of that, you can now know you're actually an infinite being. Your soul actually lives infinitely. So that Jesus maybe as providing that the second fruit that we weren't supposed to get, you know, but that is kind of like birthright or something, right? It's like, yeah, don't eat from that tree. It's like they did. It's like, well, yeah, of course. Like, why? Yeah, it's delicious. Why wouldn't you? You know, you know, makes sense.
And I feel like the idea, like, so to me, like, the idea of God, even though I've been such an atheist my whole life, I don't know, you know, I'm into Eastern philosophy, so
Yeah.
you know, or right, so at some point you start, I don't know, combining your skepticism of religion, but also recognizing materialism and atheism are its own religion.
Of course.
So wait a second, you know, it's like in The Simpsons. It's like, wait, but God, you know, you told me I could have the, you know, the magical power. It's like, no, but God, you promised me I would have it. And God's like, oh, I didn't think you both be in the same place at the same time. Later, guys, you know.
Yeah.
So God is this powerful being relative to us, but that doesn't mean he's all powerful. And part of the mythology or propaganda of religion is to try to convince us that it's all seeing and all knowing and all powerful, as opposed to just more powerful than us. But while it's more powerful, it's not perfect. It's not all seeing and all knowing and all powerful. Therefore, it's actually more vulnerable than we realize. So like when you're saying God, when God's like, well, wait, God, why didn't you see this coming? You're supposed to be all knowing and all powerful.
Right.
How did you not?
We're talking about a different level of God at that point.
Yeah. And so these things are metaphors or these ideas that help us understand different levels of power or understanding or truth. And God, and the most devout ones, and this kind of comes back when we were talking about whatever, Republicans and Democrats and the good cop, bad cop, and switching it around, and then wait a second, I thought like, you know, we're against war and we're against censorship and we're against locking people up for no reason with, you know, no trial, and you know, and all that, you know, all this shit where it's like both sides do it, and when both sides do it, as long as your side's doing it, you're like, yes. And the ultimate sin is to be a traitor to your side, you know. Like there are probably a lot of Jews that will think worse of me than you because they're like, I'm a traitor, you know, whereas you're just a goy, you know. Yeah. And they're like, well, whatever, like we can't fully blame the goy for thinking like a goy, but you're a Jew, you should be on our side, where it's, and that's the type of thing that makes it harder to see the nuance of like, look, maybe God is not all powerful, all knowing, but maybe there is something else that did create us, that's a consciousness, or however you want to put it, you know, or an alien or super intelligence or interdimensional being or whatever, I don't know, humans or some sort of intelligence that's been around a lot longer than we realize, you know, and has every reason to convince us that resistance is futile, and that we better just go ahead and do everything that they say. Otherwise, our life is going to be in a world of shit, you know? And if this world isn't going to be in a world of shit, our next one will be, you know, one way or the other. We better, you know, do what they say. And it's like, at what level, you know, like hearing the stories about like God being like, take your child up to this place and kill them. And the person reluctantly being like, okay, but God told me to do it. And God's like, good, now I know that you were willing to do that for me. So that's, you know,
no,
John
that's, and
MacAfee.
that's a total asshole. Like that can't possibly be the God.
Right? Why would he be
Which is,
such an asshole?
watch the Professor Jiang thing about the secret societies.
Yeah.
It's about the monad and the demiurge and stuff like that.
I don't know if I saw that one. I watched.
I've got it. You got it's so excellent because he's talking about this is there's the official version of Christianity and then there's the secret society version of Christianity. And that's where he makes just a really excellent presentation on it. It's just
okay.
So he went over the Orthodox canonical idea of what the Bible is about, and then he started into the apocryphic, esoteric, secret, and he's going to this idea of the monad and stuff like that, which is exactly what we're talking about.
What the secret societies believe, okay? Remember, they believe that mind leads to matter. What does that mean, okay? Let me explain what this means. Mind leads to matter. In the beginning, the true God is called the monad, okay, the one. So just think of this as the core of the universe, the sun, the divine sun. The monad is so powerful that when he breathes, okay, he vibrates divine energy. And over millions of years, this divine energy creates new life forms, okay? So the first life form are called the dyads. Dyads are just pairs, okay? Usually male, female, that are children of the monad. And they're able by themselves to create new universes as well, okay? So the dyads start to emanate, okay? So the entire universe is vibration. It's vibrational energy. It's the breathing of these cosmic beings, okay? And over time, over millions of years, these vibrations become atoms, which then leads to matter, okay? That's what they mean by mind leads to matter. Now, one of these dyads, named Sophia, decides, you know what? I can be just as good as the monad. What does the monad do? The monad is able to propagate by itself, by himself. He doesn't need to mate. So Sophia says, you know what? I'm going to produce something by myself. I'm going to have a child by myself to prove I am the monad, okay? So she does this, and she creates a new being, okay? A new being. This is called the demiurge. There are different names. We'll call them the demiurge. The demiurge is a monster, a monstrosity, because it goes against the natural order. So then Sophia is like, oops, I shouldn't have done that. So what does she do? She abandons the monstrosity. She throws him away and hides him in a sea of clouds. So no one knows he actually exists, okay? Even the demiurge doesn't know he exists. The demiurge does not know about this world, right? Therefore, he believes that he must be the one true God, capable of creating new life. So what does he create? Us, okay? He creates the planet Earth. And then he creates Adam and Eve, okay? That's what a monster would do, okay? Look at this history. What kind of God would kick someone out of paradise for eating a fruit? A monster would do it, right? What kind of God would kill a people for no particular reason? A monster would do that, okay? What kind of God would demand that a people be loyal to that person? A monster. What kind of God would enforce his will on a people? A monster. What kind of God would say to someone, you're the only person I like, everyone else I hate? A monster would do that, okay? So, in other words, the true secret that these secret societies are trying to keep is the God we worship today is the false God. And we are actually in a prison created by this false God. And that's who Jesus was. Jesus was a cosmic being sent by the monad to tell us the truth about the world. And that's why he died, because the Roman Empire could not allow people to see the truth. If I told you the truth, you would know it right away. You would wake up. Therefore, the truth tellers must be killed, okay? So that's what these secret societies believe. They believe that the monad exists, and the mind of the monad is what creates the universe. And Jesus was sent to remind us that even though we're in a prison, there's still the monad in you. There's a spark in you, a divine light in you that you can activate. And if you activate it, then you will return to the monad. You will see the truth for yourself. And when you die, your soul, which is part of the monad, will want to return to the monad and can escape this world. But to activate this light, you must be a good person. You must love one another. You must reject money and materialism. And grades, okay? Grades in school. You must reject competition. You must reject material wealth in order to pursue spiritual happiness. Okay? That was the message of Jesus. Now you can imagine that the powers that be, the Nephilim, would not like this, okay? It's a direct threat to Nephilim, who now control the prison created by the demiurge. It's also a direct threat to the demiurge. And that's why these secret societies have been, over the centuries, been repressed, been executed, okay, been massacred. But they believe that it is their duty to protect this secret, because only by protecting the secret can humanity be ultimately saved. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions? All right. So.
Yeah, that was fucking good. That was good.
Oh baby, yeah, yeah, excellent, so good.
That's really good. Yeah, that guy I told you about that, like I came close with, and I haven't seen him in a while. Like that was our conversations. At some point, were almost becoming that, where I was saying I didn't know all those particulars, but I was basically being like think about it. Like I would say to him, like it's like a piece of legislation. Like if you're a lobbyist, you don't want to write every word in the legislation. You just want to change a few words here or a few sentences there, and by doing that, you can invert the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he was like open to that, but he wasn't like that interested in, like it worked too well for him. Like a liberal or conservative. They're like, I don't want to question this shit. I just want to vote for the Republicans or vote for the Democrats. Like whatever. Trump is Hitler, or the other side.
Trump is the savior. It's
Trump is the savior.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like no. It's like it's trickier than that. It's hard to unfuck your mind.
Yeah. No, we're talking about what's outside of the cave.
Yeah.
We're not talking about what's in the cave.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things in the cave. I get it. But we're talking about what's outside of the cave.
Yeah.
It's deeply it makes people scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave the cave.
Yeah.
This is where I live. Like I've got a fire here.
Right.
I don't want to leave or think about what's out there. That's fucking scary. That's kind of the definition of it. It's an unknown. It's outside of knowledge. And we're talking about something not a part of knowledge. We're talking about things not in the cave.
Yeah. And that AI reality, the metaverse or whatever you want to call it, is going to create this new synthetic cave.
Exactly. A whole new one.
A whole new one.
It's like, oh, look, we built an even we dug down, we had this cave, we dug down and made a cool new hangout space below ground. Isn't this awesome? Yeah. It's like we put some old school arcade cabinets down here. We got a popcorn machine. It's very technologically, it's a game room. We made a game room. We added a game room onto our cave. Isn't it fucking awesome? And most people are going to say, yeah, it sure fucking is. Because it is entertaining. It is fun. It is sexually gratifying. It is educational. It is artistic. It's all that we love.
Whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, sure.
Be that. Yeah.
Oh, it's the shit we love for sure. In terms of knowledge, in terms of entertainment and that kind of stuff. Oh no, that's what we like. We like that stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the whole idea that what came first, consciousness / mind or matter.
Right, exactly.
Is, and I watched Rogan had some guy on, I don't know when, but some guy that I can find the clip for you and send it to you later, basically about how Galileo, and some of those earlier scientists that it's like they intentionally hid and reversed it and said matter was first. Like there was some corruption there, even though they were into science, they were no, they had an agenda that wasn't just about the truth and a process for the truth. There's something else going on, and matter is the thing. And I guess, right, if we all knew that we're the soul that goes on forever, and so if you're going to compromise or corrupt that soul, it's not worth it. Like nothing is worth compromising that. Just like if we wouldn't want our kids to go and, I don't know, like whatever, right? Like there's certain ways we don't want them to corrupt or compromise themselves. Like it's not worth it. And they're like, no,
just go like kill some people.
Or kill some
like
people.
Go kill some people.
Yeah, do bad things to either other people or to themselves.
Right. No, we don't want that.
We don't want that. And we're like, no. And they're like, no. Like, and I've been talking to Steph about that, of like how like, how brainwashed I've been, and realizing it more and more. Now some people, it's weird. I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of people, there's a number of people, say like the one that jumps out in my mind is like Russell Brand. Is all of a sudden, for, I don't know, the past 10 to 15 years, he's been kind of like, I don't know, challenging authority. He went from this like, movie star, drug addict to like became sober, and then started like trying to, be a truth teller. And then at some point, like they started threatening him with like, post Me Too, they were trying to Me Too him. They were trying to.
Yeah, there's some weird sexual.
Yeah, like these allegations against him, and they were like, and he was talking about like there were ex-girlfriends of his that were like telling him, oh, they're trying to reach out to me and get me to claim you did bad things to me. So they're like going around and, doing their due diligence. Because I mean, for example, he was very critical of like Israel and COVID, but then at some point he like, I stopped even paying attention. He like went to Christianity, which look, whatever, teach their own. If I'm fine, but I'm just saying, like something. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is like I realize how brainwashed I've been by materialism, by atheism. Whatever you want to call this modern religion, like whatever you call it, the New World Order religion, I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to call it, And then a lot of people almost like, they're like, all right, once I wake up from that, I'll go back because Jesus is the only true way to salvation. And I, and it's weird to me because I'm like, don't you see that wasn't that the original form of this? Wasn't that like to enslave your mind in this thing, and like, and honestly, like Buddhism too, like I really like it in some ways. In other ways, I'm like, this feels like a slave religion,
Yeah, that's how I love in Zen, where it says, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him.
I didn't know Howard Zinn said that.
No, in Zen, in the practice of Zen.
Oh, okay.
There is no Buddha. That sets up a false dichotomy. That sets up that there's separation and that everything isn't one. Is everything one or not?
Right,
is everything one or not?
Yeah, because that's the great illusion is separation, right?
And so is everything one or not?
Yeah. So
and so if you're committed to the idea that everything is one, then you got to drop all knowledge. All knowledge has to get dropped right away because all knowledge is based on separation. I'm going to study that.
Yeah.
That's what knowledge is based on. So you have to drop all knowledge. So then Zen goes towards no more knowledge, no more studying, just sit, just take action without thinking, fuck thinking, figure out what you are when you're not thinking. And what that means is your action. We are action.
Right? Like it's like the same man never steps in the same river twice, kind of. Mm-hmm. But we identify with I'm Josh, you're John.
Right.
And it's like, no. Like or like Ram Dass says, we're all God and drag.
Exactly.
Is that
yeah, if you really accept that, then it's like, oh, whoa, then there aren't different beings. It's one energy.
Yeah.
It's one emanation. It's one whatever you insert some dumbass word that then people will argue over, right? I mean, that's the issue. As soon as you add the word to it, you're already fucked, right? First line's the Tao Te Ching. The Tao that can be spoken is not the Tao.
Yeah, exactly. He who knows does not speak, and he who speaks does not know.
And then, so if you're really smart, that you read that line and you close the book. But if you're not like me, if you're not smart like me, then you keep reading because it's so entertaining. But the first sentence should make you close the book. The first sentence should make you close the book. It's what a great book. That's the greatest book of all time. You know, a book that's like, the first line is like, don't read this book. Close this book right now and go outside. Go sit in the sun. You know, close this book right now.
If you're receiving,
are you still reading?
Yeah, if you're receiving this transmission, do not respond.
I know, do not.
No, I've got to respond. It's like, no, all right, fine.
Oh, so profound. That book, that 3-Body Problem, is just so profound. It just continues to live on in my mind. It really did something for me in terms of just rare. I think what it was really is, rarely do I feel like somebody has really thought about something to like gone further than I have gone. With a thing I'm interested in. And in that case, I felt like the person, they spent a lot, or people or group or AI, I don't know who the fuck wrote the motherfucker for real, really took it so far. I mean, the breadth and depth at which they developed that idea, and it was just so absolutely incredible. Just so absolutely holy crap. They really took so much responsibility. When you write a fiction book, to me, it's like, you got to take responsibility that as a fiction writer, you can put anything, you can create an entire universe. You can go anywhere. And unless you're going to like take that really seriously, take that responsibility, just do a nonfiction book, just write down the facts and the dates and shut the fuck up, you know. But if you're going to make a great fiction book, is like an unbelievable work of art. I mean, it's just an unbelievable work of art when a really great author creates an entire new, essentially, like, universe with characters and meaning and metaphysics and stuff like that. Wow, that is impressive. That takes a lot of like creative power and work. That's just it's so inspiring, I guess. I guess it's part of the thing, is inspiring. And it just gave me such a weird feeling. The whole time I read that book, I just had such a strange feeling. There's something important about this. There's something important about this, you know? Oh, it just felt weird. Awesome. What a great experience.
Yeah, no, like you said, someone who's thought even more deeply about something you've thought deeply about and gone even further with
it. Even
further. You can't help but recognize, like, oh my God.
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
nice
job.
job.
I was going on this path, but this person was also, and they went a lot further on this path, and I've got to just stop and check this out. And it's like,
like, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Because I do view, fiction is like it's like a tool that can be used, to tell the truth in a way that if you don't use the tool of fiction, it's gonna be a lot harder to tell that truth,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, but then, okay, so then if everything is one, and it's all in a way kind of like an illusion,
right?
Like what, right?
Right.
Then it's kind of all the most terrible things that have ever happened. It's kind of like,
no, it's like a video game.
Yeah, like a video game or theater.
If we like blow up a bunch of people in a video game, are we like upset about it? Like, no.
Yeah, No. And it's like, but then, so it's tricky because then, like, like I was watching footage of, some of the Palestinian prisoners that got released, and like, it was heartbreaking. Like one of the guys, I guess one of the forms of torture was that they had told him for however long he was in captive, that they killed his entire family and his kids. And then you see him reunite I almost want to cry, like
Yeah.
just talking about it. Like it's so powerful. Like you see this guy like just fall to the ground, and like tears,
I have
like
no way of knowing if it's true or not.
yeah, right, and
You know, the
yeah,
if you're in that guy's position, you don't know if that's true or not.
yeah, and like at some point you probably like I'm never leaving here anyway. So what's the point of hanging? Why am I going to torture myself by holding out this hope that is like such a fool's hope? But and then you give up on it, and then you come out and you find out it was a lie. And you just see him fall to the ground. I don't know. It's like in a way, like I do feel like I don't know, simulation theory is maybe not the perfect analogy or term for it, but there's something like that. Like this is all what we're experiencing is all some form of video game that's like a test or a challenge.
Yes.
It's like a driver's test that you don't get the driver's license and get to go drive on the road until you pass this. And the only way you pass it is like you have that experience that guy had where you get convinced that it's all gone and then you come back and then now you fully appreciate it. And can that guy, the way he's appreciating that in that moment, I think or I assume there's no way he can keep that appreciation up at that level after that. Like at some point it starts going, like right? Like when you watch, I don't know if you ever seen this woman, she talks about it was like a dream. I forgot what it was, but like going and having like one day back like in time, and she sees like her children who are all old, and her mom who's dead, and and she's just like, oh my God, and just cherishing them, and
a lot of people who have near-death experiences,
right,
similar things,
right, and there's like a part of me that like sometimes gets very frustrated with myself, that like, man, like, dude, you're just blowing this whole thing. You're just,
right,
and like you're wasting this opportunity. And most everyone's probably had some degree of thought like this, and it's like, and then maybe for a brief window of time, like after I saw, those things, I'm like, oh, and I, and don't worry, every time I see Odin, I give him like a hug and a kiss,
right.
But it's not like that Palestinian guy when he came out and dropped to the floor, and it's like, what can get us to that place where we are truly in awe of what we're experiencing, instead of just like this desensitized, feeling shame for our true form, like what will get us to overcome. Like in a way, it's like, all right, well, we tried the carrot, now it's time to try the stick, because the carrot doesn't work. We want the carrot to work. We want it to be like carrot will get them. No, carrot is what gets you to this place where you take it all for granted, and unfortunately, it's only like the suffering, the real suffering, that makes a person. But then how do you deal with, the trauma? So it's such like a weird needle to thread, and that's why I think a lot of people, they just like, all right, you know what? Like, I'll go into a monastery and I will just
maybe I'll have luck there.
I'll just fucking meditate forever. And at least I'll cut out all of these outside factors that keep on putting me through this roller coaster, instead of this. No. And is that person who's in the monastery, are they just like full of love and light? Like, I mean, Yuji Krishnamurti talks about, no, these people are not, that's not who these people are. He's like, I've lived with these people and I've seen them do these terrible things. And, a year ago, one of my good friends got married, and I was talking to his older brother who stayed in a monastery for a while, and was doing that thing, and he said some of the teachers and the masters, when they'd speak, they would have this light, and they would go, and it would touch everyone, and it would be amazing. But then he would see them when they weren't teaching, and he's like, "Oh my God, they're just dumb schmucks like me, and they do these terrible things, and they act in this way that's totally hypocritical." And he's like, and it's, right. So like, what's the thing where you're like how, like how can we embrace, and then like Ramdas talks about, like, come on, like you're going down the street and you're gonna like, because then you're gonna have to like bring every single homeless person into your home. Like when does it stop? And it's like, and yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh man. Oh man. For like moments here, like even just talking about this with you right now, it's like I feel like an elevation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Right.
Like for the rest of this day, I feel like I'm gonna maybe appreciate things a little bit more than I normally do.
Right, exactly. And I don't think the carrot or the stick works. And I think that's neither one of it, because both are based on knowledge, and the knowledge is the separator. Because who has the knowledge? I do. Meaning we've already started. We went into the separation self game automatically. As soon as we use knowledge, whether it's for a carrot or a stick, it emphasizes that I am real, and so we're right back in the game. We're right back in the game. That as again, as UG Krishna would say, the thinking knows all the tricks, and it does two things. It says, one, there's a problem, and two, I have the solution to it. And the way we're going to figure out the solution is by thinking about it. And with the really tricky problems, it's going to take a while. We may have to think a lot. Okay. But once there's no thinking, there's no problem anymore.
Yeah.
There isn't a problem. What's the problem? There's no problem.
And honestly, it's interesting that you say that, because to me, I don't know. I've just always, or not always, but I don't know, just like kind of very much in line with some of the things you've been saying. It's like, just go, go,
Yes.
Like I remember when Gimmick 3, when we were playing, and then afterwards some other musician came over and was like, "Oh, I really like you guys' stuff," or something, and was like, and said something to me like, "Oh, but you were playing this weird stuff that was like really out of tune," and you were like, "Dude, he's doing that intentionally."
Yeah.
Right. Like but that guy's mind, he's like, "No, that you don't do that."
Right, exactly.
There's an orderly way, and it's like, no, you just go. Even if you don't know, you just go. And it's like, no, that's not.
Also, like, by the way, did you listen to it? It was awesome.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot, but then you're playing this wrong thing. But also it sounded awesome.
Yeah, no, exactly. He couldn't square away the two things coexisting.
Yep.
But I remember you being like, "No, but like, it's intentional."
Right.
Like that's, and the guy was just like confused.
Yes.
He was like genuinely confused. And I don't know, it was like a nice moment.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, I felt like you got it. And
you
and I were like, I don't know. It was like a special thing, where it's like, for whatever reason, not many people can get that.
Right.
Right. And most people are either like, I'm going for this Frau kind of thing, where I'm like this virtue, like, but that's what's great about Frau. Like, Frau's not a dick about it. He's not like some snob. He's like, no, it's all great and it can all work.
That dissonant note is called a flat ninth, bro.
Yeah.
There's terms for this in fucking music theory too, bro. Okay. It's either a major seventh or a flat ninth. If you're just like one step below or above, there's a term for that shit. Don't worry. There's knowledge base for that shit too. You want to go there,
But the willingness to like just go, even though you're going to get punished for it in some way, or some people are, and everyone's like, if you just clean this little thing up, more people would like it.
There's a problem, and I can solve it.
Exactly.
There's an issue. There's a problem, and we can solve it through thinking. That's that's posited by right wing, left wing, wing. You got the problems, and we have solutions to it. And it sets up as soon as you engage in that, you've jumped into the arena of self and other and and right and wrong, and you're just screwed. There's no getting out of that loop or that jungle. There's no way. You're in the cave. You're just in the cave now. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do at that point. It's all within the game. It's all within. You're in that realm. It won't matter whether you're right or wrong, or you're virtuous or not, or people or not, or something. You know, it's all discriminatory. It's all discriminatory thinking. It's dismissive and discriminatory thinking, and it takes us away from the feeling you're talking about. That the oneness, the feeling or the state of oneness is pre-knowledge. Knowledge grew out of that dirt. That's like one of the plants that grew out is knowledge. And it grew out of what? This dirt, this fucking dirt. And the dirt is way different than the plant, but like at the same time, the plant is taking all of its nutrients and everything from the dirt and from
the sun.
So it is kind of, it is born of that stuff, but no one would say the dirt is the plant. Have them separate. No, the plant relies on the dirt. There is a really deep interconnection there, you know?
Exactly.
You know, absolutely. But the knowledge is later on. We had other things first. Other things happened before that, and knowledge has grown out of that. And overuse of knowledge causes us stress. It causes anxiety or depression. That therapists, I say, thinking about the past is depression and thinking about the future is anxiety.
It's anxiety, no, I love that saying too. Love it.
So fuck thinking. If the idea that thinking is going to solve our problems, then we're screwed. You know, it's just not, because what we're talking about now is really what, if we can let that go, then we can start to have that feeling where actually everything is okay. Actually, everything is one. That death isn't scary. That suffering isn't something that is bad or good, or that needs to be fixed. That it's that there is suffering. The end. You know, that's a part of it. And it is that good or bad? No. Because if we get into good or bad, then that means because I want to solve it. Think about it and make committees and blow, and because the problem is those people over there. The problem is I figured it out. That's oftentimes the end result, right? It's like, figure out what the problem is. It's those guys. And then you blow them up, and then those guys go, oh, you blow us up, we'll blow you know? We just realized there's a problem. The ones dropping bombs on our nuts. You guys. And then we have what I just described as our fucking reality. I know. That's not like a thought experiment. Like, I wonder if there's a world that's like that. No,
that's right now.
There's a problem and we can solve it. You know, and every nation kind of has its own kind of like, we're gonna solve it like this. No, ours is kind of similar, but we're gonna do it like this. I gotta call it. Rachel's back. Okay. Go eat lunch, and I'll talk to you later. Awesome, as always, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, great shit.
Talk to you next time.
Yeah, see you next week, buddy.
Okay, cool. Bye.
All right, later, brother.